Today's topic is attendance. Attendance matters. The reason why is because I had a conversation just this morning that talked about how do we keep them coming. And so I wanted to come on and talk about what we have done as an organization. Excellence and Ambition is my organization. Again, why do I keep doing that? Hi, I'm Danelle Pinder, founder of Excellence and Ambition Inc., nonprofit organization in Baltimore City. But we are expanding our reach, and I'm also the CEO of Pinder Enterprises. And what I do for Pinder Enterprises is similar to what we do in the nonprofit space, but for teams. We teach entrepreneurship, workforce development, and the arts. We support the arts in a tangible way, support the artists in a tangible way to help them to create their income using their time, talent, and treasure. All right, so get back on topic, okay? Attendance matters. And it matters when in the grant writing space because your impact is dictated by your why, and your why is dictated by your who, right? And so your why should always involve the problem or the people that you're trying to help through a problem, right? It's for a specific demographic of people. If not, then why are you doing it, right? You can't say I want to help alleviate homelessness if you're not targeting the people who are homeless, right? There's always people who are behind the problem that you're trying to solve in the nonprofit space and a for-profit space. Whatever business you have, you're trying to solve a pain point, a struggle point, an issue, whatever your business might be, is there for a reason and to have impact on your clientele, your participant, or whatever. And so you're providing a resource that has real impact, and it depends on the dosage, the time and attendance, and the follow through for the people that you are helping and supporting. You can have a program, of course. You can have an organization, a business, whatever, that only has a 1 day impact, right? They come to you for 1 day, they get what you're giving, and then they go on, right? Then the next day you might have a completely new group of people that are getting that resource, that whatever you're providing. And so that's your impact number is going to dictate that part. You know, how many people, how many did you serve? What did you do to serve them for that one time? You could be like a food pantry where you might be serving the same community, the same people many times over within a month, right? So you're tracking those numbers. You're saying how many touch points did this person have? Did they come one time this month? Did they come 10 times this month? Right? That you're in that way you are also collecting your impact and your number, right? And the thing is that, are you trying to solve the problem, or are you just trying to help them get through whatever they might be going through at that moment? That also depends on your why. Are you there temporary, or are you there for the long haul? Are you there to give a fish, or are you there to teach how to fish, right? So those are the things that you have to figure out at the beginning of when you're trying to figure out your organization and what you're doing and why you're doing it. That's going to depend on or your attendance, your numbers, your impact numbers is going to depend on that, on your purpose, right? Follow through is important, because even if you have a program or organization that is giving a fish, right, or giving a one meal or a one-time training or whatever, just one time, you should be following up with your people to see if there was a great outcome, if they learned something, if they're going to put into practice what you gave them, if they're going to come back again to get that resource again, or are they going to bring somebody? Right, your impact, your impact numbers will determine how and what types of funding you're going to need. Is it just temporary? Is it long term? Are you just here for a season, or are you going to be here for the long haul? And grantors want to see that. They want to see your numbers. They want to see your outcomes. They want to see how many people that you followed up with and what were the outcomes, and are they better off for coming to your organization or your program. And that is what can build your sustainability. You get your independent donors, you get your grantors, you get your sponsors, by being consistent and having true, real impact. You can't say that we're serving 300 people and then you actually only serving 30, right? That isn't going to get you where you need to be. That's called not being truthful, right? You want to, and if you are serving 30, then that needs to be your goal, right? You don't have to exaggerate what you're doing if you're doing exactly what you are planning to do. So how do you keep your numbers? That's what we was talking about earlier today. Attendance. How do you keep your numbers? How do you continue to have the impact that you want to have? And my post earlier this week, if not last Friday, it might have been my last post. I posted specifically that programs that were packed with people in 2019 might not be as popular 2026, not because your program isn't great, not because what you do isn't great, but because times have changed and your population could be needing more or needing less, right? And so constantly looking at, not constantly, but quarterly at least, looking at your numbers and figuring out those follow-up conversations and understanding what your constituency or your people or your clientele is trying to tell you is going to determine how you move forward. So how to keep your numbers, how to keep them up, how to scale down, how to measure out your impact and your outcomes. First thing you have to have is participant voice and choice. It needs to be baked in to your plan. Your business plan, your outcomes have to be based off of what your people say that they need, as far as problems, as far as solutions. You can't go into someone's community and dictate what is going to work for them, right? And this is we talk about this from a gentrification perspective as well, right? You have communities, you have people who have been struggling sometimes to just get through what they're getting through, and here you come, you got this big old grant, you come in, you there, you do the work, and then you gone, and the problem is still there. There was no real buy-in from the community, buy-in from the youth or whoever you're serving, no real impact. The outcome was you and your organization got paid and y'all went on to the next thing. But if the actual why is to support the people or to support the community or the people group that you're supposed to be solving the problem for, then that means the problem should be solved. And now you're evolving to do the next thing. If in 2019, your focus was youth, the arts, I'm just going to use for example, what the young people were talking about and discussing in 2019, they're not talking about the same thing in 2026. The world is not even the same place. And they're still young. If you had someone who was 15 6 years ago, right? 7 years ago at this point, right? Wow, time is doing nothing. It's just nothing in it. But it was 15 at that time. They're now 21, 22. They're still young. They're still in that phase of trying to figure it out. And being a young adult right now is hard. It's very difficult. And so the things that they needed to do as far as getting out whatever Anna they might have had at the time, this is pre-COVID, those things, those issues that they might have been dealing with, or the things they wanted to express themselves about how wonderful life was, whatever their artistry was supposed to talk about in 2019, and then 2020, 122, then 2024. Now 2026, whatever it is that they were talking about or wanting to express themselves about, it's going to change over time. And so you as an organization, regardless of what it is that you're offering, you also have to be consistently asking and allowing your participant, your constituency, to use their voice and to tell you what it is that they need as far as the choice of your organization to provide the resource. And sometimes things you can't, stretch and do everything, right? But that's where partnerships come in. That is where you bring in other organizations or groups or speakers or whatever that can support, the things that you may not be able to have it just may not be in your wheelhouse to do that thing. So you bring in a guest or someone else to do that, or create a referral service, a referral list of, if your topic is elder care, right? And, but you don't necessarily deal with people who are dealing with dementia. That might be it is a specialized issue. And so having a list of referrals and resources for the elders or for their family members who are caring for them would be a good place. It really depends on your niche and what you're doing. Word of mouth. There's a thing called a grapevine. People will bring a friend. People will refer you the same way I just talked about you referring someone to another organization, another group, or bringing in a partner. It's the same way that your participants, your clients, your constituency will do. They will talk about you, and they will talk about you well, or they will talk about you not so well. Right? All those things depend on your impact, and it definitely will impact your outcome. And so you have to have genuine staff who make a genuine effort, or even if you're small family run, maybe it's just you have to be genuine, and you have to not just be there for the sake of being there, but actually being there to help and solve the issue. Grantors also love consistency. Right. And so just like your participants, just like your constituency, just like your clientele, they love consistency. They will love partnerships. Grantors love to see that. They love to see that you are there. You've been there since 2019 doing this work. And in 2026, you are still there. You're still relevant. That matters as you are going through your grant writing journey. If you're just starting out, having a pilot program, volunteering and helping other organizations that are within your niche, figuring out who are the players in your community that are already doing this thing. And if there is no one, broaden your net, maybe a town over or a city over or in the next state over, there is a program or something that you can go visit to see what they're doing and what they're doing well and what might translate well to where you are, right? Consistency, research, is what's going to get you where you need to be. Those are the things that people want to just write a grant and no, it's all these things, these systems that have to take place before you start. And it's not just in the nonprofit space. Any business that you have started, anything that you're doing, that you want to have sustainability and long-term success, you have to do this type of work on the front end. Okay, so your attendance matters. Attendance matters for impact, for outcomes, for consistency. And so thank you guys for watching. Any questions that you might have about this topic or any other topic, you can, you can hit me up. You can put it here in the chat and I will address it at the next live next week. I will also be posting more in the Solomon's newsletter because I'm actually leaving soon for the Solomons. So if you want to follow that journey, please subscribe to my other newsletter and talk to you all soon. Bye.